If your child feels like they belong at school, they do better. They do better, not just at school, but in life for up to 10 years later. Today, what school belonging is and how you can create it. Hello and welcome to the Happy Families podcast, real parenting solutions every day on Australia's most downloaded parenting podcast. My name is Dr. Justin Coulson. I'm an author of, 9 books, working on my 10th book at the moment about raising boys, the co-host and parenting expert on Channel 9's hit TV show Parental Guidance, and dad to 6 daughters and 1 grandbaby. Normally, I'd be doing the podcast with Kylie, my wife, Mrs. Happy Families. But unfortunately today, she's not well and has said, "You're on your own. Get it done. I'll try to be back tomorrow." So fingers crossed for Kylie. I'm sure she'll get better soon. So we all want our children to be happy. We want them to be successful at school. Unfortunately, that's not the case for too many of our kids. For me, primary school was joy, but high school were probably the worst 6 years of my life. Really, no positive memories at all of school, except when I did well at the swimming carnival. It was tough. It was tough socially. It was tough academically. I just wasn't motivated to be there at all. My parents were paying a lot of money. They were focused on my grades. They wanted me to have great friends. They wanted to boost me up and enrich my life with extracurricular activities. And the bottom fell out. It just didn't work. What if I told you that one of the most important factors for what my well-being could have been at school and what your child's well-being could be now at school, for both now and into the future, is their sense of belonging. So recent research from Monash University has shed light on this profoundly impactful idea of school belonging on both short-term and long-term mental health as well as school success. Somebody that I've had on the podcast recently, Associate Professor Kellyanne Allen, was the lead researcher here, and I want to step you through some of this research because it really is eye-opening. They followed over 1,500 individuals from adolescence, so notice this is high school kids, not primary school kids, through to adulthood. They looked at the link between their feelings of connection while they were at school and their mental well-being later in life. And here's what they found. Those children who felt a strong sense of belonging in high school experienced fewer mental health challenges in their 20s. Let me say that again. You feel like you're connected. You feel like you belong. You feel like you're part of the community. You're contributing and receiving nicely and in the right way from the school. And you have better mental health, fewer mental health challenges in your mid to late 20s. Fascinatingly, this connection was evident even when they controlled for or accounted for statistically other factors like how well you did academically and the quality of your family relationships. In other words, when you feel like you fit in, that you matter, that you're part of the school community, it has a lasting positive impact on your mental health. In fact, some research from the United States highlights that if your kids can show up at school and just have just two things, it will build school belonging. Number one, an adult that they're excited to see and who is excited to see them. I remember for our eldest daughter, that was Mr. Cotter. Mr. Cotter was a science teacher at Wollongong Performing Arts High School, and our eldest daughter, she was really struggling at school. She was struggling socially. She didn't like it there. It was hard work. And then she went into grade 8 and met Mr. Cotter. And all of a sudden, life changed. She couldn't wait to go to school on days when Mr. Cotter was going to be teaching science. Previous to that, she'd also hated science. But one adult who delights in your child and who your child finds great joy in, oh my goodness. And please, I don't need all the whole, but this sounds really sinister. I'm talking about innocent, beautiful, high quality, positive relationships between a teacher or another adult and your child. It does happen, and you don't have to, there are so many bad examples of it, but there are also millions more positive examples. So please don't go to dark places here. I'm talking about wholesome and positive and uplifting and hopeful relationships. If your child walks in the school gate and there is one significant adult at school that they're excited to see and who is excited to see them, that's half the battle, and that promotes school belonging. The second critical relationship is having a friend, somebody who sees your child walk through the school gates and says, "Hey, come sit with me." Or who says, "Hey, what happened last night?" Or "What are you doing this night?" Just that one person. Unfortunately for Chanel in that particular school environment, she didn't have that. It was really challenging for her. But we gave her a trial day at a private school down the road. And when she went in there, she found the teachers delightful, but she also had one or two friends who actually, they weren't initially friends. They were just people who met her and said, hey, you're a new girl. Come sit with us. We would love to get to know you. We think you'd fit right in here. And that led to what ultimately was a very, very happy school experience for our eldest daughter. The idea of school belonging, if there can just be two people, a friend and an adult, who can make your kids feel amazing, that's when they know that they belong at school. After the break on the Happy Families podcast, why school belonging matters so much and how we as parents can foster that sense of belonging for our children. We're talking about school belonging and how our kids can thrive both at school and later on in life for up to 10 years when it comes to mental health and well-being if they feel like they've got a good level of school belonging. So when children feel like they belong at school, when they feel like they're welcomed and valued and supported, here's what research shows. They're much more likely to engage in learning. They're more motivated, they're more attentive, they're more eager to participate in classroom activities. They develop more positive relationships. I mean, this is a social resource, and when you've got that social resource, it makes it easier to accumulate more of it. They tend to feel more comfortable interacting with peers and teachers. They foster friendships and a sense of community. I was talking to a young man just the other day, and he was struggling, not in a school environment, but in a church environment. Same though, really, in terms of seeing these people frequently and having good relationships. He was struggling to form a connection with just one person who would say, hey, come sit with us. We're really glad you're here. And so he was looking to head to a different place for church and for his spiritual fulfillment. Why? Because he wasn't having the comfortable, positive interactions with his peers that he needed, and therefore he did not feel the sense of community, and therefore he didn't feel that he belonged, and therefore he wanted to go somewhere else. The research also shows a higher propensity, capacity to cope with stress because the support system is there to turn to when academic or social challenges arise, and there's more resilience in kids who feel like they belong at school. They feel like they're worth something, and they've got the confidence to navigate life's ups and downs. So, how do we foster this sense of belonging, particularly if we've got a child who does not feel like they belong at school? What if this is not working? What if your kids are saying, I don't belong? It doesn't feel good for me at all. I'm going to share with you what I think are 3 suggestions that can make a big difference. These are calls to action for you as a parent. These are literally action steps to help your child to feel like they belong, particularly if they don't. The first is partnering with the school, and there are 2. Actually, I think there are 3 ways that you can do it. Number 1, you can open up communication with the school. So connect with your child's teachers. Don't walk in there with all guns blazing and say, my child doesn't feel like they belong. You're doing it wrong. I want to see change. Like, partnering means we sit down with our child's teacher and we say, I'm noticing something at home. What are you seeing? How can we work together to help my child feel like they belong? Because we know that this will make a difference. So this means a gentle and polite email, maybe having a meeting, attend school events, show up at the parent-teacher meetings, be an active participant in your child's life. That's how you partner with the school with that open communication. I think in harmony with that, the second thing to emphasize is how we can advocate. That means that we don't hesitate to reach out to the school counsellor or other support staff. Too many parents are too slow. They don't want to look like they're being an impediment. I know that the helicopter parent what is it? The example of the helicopter parent is that they're in the teacher's or the school's face all the time. Yes, there are some of those parents, but overwhelmingly, my experience has been that parents are reluctant to step forward. They're hesitant to do so. And the third thing in terms of partnering with the school is support the school's initiatives. Like, get involved in school activities and events that are going to promote that sense of community and belonging. Get to know what's going on at the school. Volunteer for tuck shop, or volunteer to help out on cross-country day, or just be useful around the place. If you've got the capacity, it makes a huge difference. All right. That's the first one, partnering with the school. Second idea that I want to share is just how you can nurture connections at home. Having family time, providing emotional support, helping your kids to develop strong social skills by getting them to engage in activities that are going to foster friendships outside of school. Those are the kinds of things that are going to help them to be more socially competent and capable when they show up at school. And the third thing is champion their interests. Okay, so we're not just advocating for them at school. We're not just trying to nurture connections at home. we're championing their interests by encouraging them to explore those interests and passions, those extracurricular activities or things at school. We're celebrating their strengths and looking at what they're doing well and just giving them the confidence to keep doing it. And where we can, we're promoting and fostering and centralizing autonomy in their life, which means giving them age-appropriate choices and responsibilities and letting them make decisions and experience the consequences of those decisions when they make choices that aren't necessarily the best choices, within safe boundaries, of course. Here's the bottom line. School belonging is not just about feeling happy and comfortable in the classroom, although that's a big part of it. It's a crucial ingredient for long-term mental health and well-being. And if we can partner with the school and nurture connections at home and really elevate our kids' interests and support them as they seek to become increasingly competent, comfortable, and able, they become more confident themselves and build a stronger foundation for, making it all sound sickly sweet and saccharine, but they build a stronger foundation for a happier life. They're like the outcomes are there, the research outcomes are there. Help your kids to belong at school to the very best that you can. And like I said, partner with the school as much as it's reasonable to do it. I hope this has been useful. If you would like more information, check out the idea of school belonging on any of the social media platforms or just Google it and talk to the school about it. It will make a difference in your children's lives. The Happy Families podcast is produced by Justin Rulon from Bridge Media. Gee, I hope Kylie's back tomorrow. It's just more fun with Kylie, isn't it? Otherwise, I just sound like I'm this guy telling you what to do. I'm so sorry. Anyway, if you'd like more information and more resources to make your family happier, check out the show notes. We'll link to some stuff about school belonging there, or visit happyfamilies.com.au.